So my shock about the depravity of this administration has now largely just turned to anger. And it's not even anger at Trump and MAGA, which, there's been a lot of that over the years. It's more about, the inability of anybody and everybody around them to call a spade and realize just how fucked we are now as a country. So in a sense, I'm even more disappointed in the media and the Democrats and normies for not realizing just how far gone we are as a country. And that's on everything. It's from the imperialism and the colonialism and the warmongering to the fascism here at home, the destruction of the Constitution, the destruction of our economy, the systematic obliteration of our economy. Look at this, y'all. So as you all know, you had the World Economic Forum the other day, and Trump gave a speech, and a bunch of world leaders gave speeches, and Canada's Prime Minister, Mark Carney, actually gave a devastatingly accurate speech where he correctly points out the era with the U.S. as the sole superpower is completely and utterly done. It's not coming back. Don't mourn it. We just need to adjust strategically moving forward. Okay? So it was real, like, nail in the coffin type shit for the U.S. empire, is what Mark Carney said. And at the same time, Canada is negotiating with China. They're making trade deals, right? Here is what Trump said when he was informed, hey, Canada just finalized a new deal with China. Here's what Trump said initially. Ready?
Prime Minister Carney is in China. Prime Minister Carney is in China. How do you see the deals Canada and China have just signed, trade deals between the two partners?
Well, that's okay. That's what he should be doing. I mean, it's a good thing for him to sign a trade deal. If you can get a deal with China, you should do that.
So that was his reaction when he was told, hey, Canada just made a new trade deal with China. Now, the reason why that matters is because China is now becoming like the core partner to all these other countries around the world. The U.S. used to be, and now it's becoming China. Why? Because China is more stable, more reliable, won't immediately rip up trade deals and treaties on a whim. You can trust their word, right? And so that was his reaction in real time. Well, guess what? Apparently, at some point, somebody on his staff explained to him, hey, here's why this is bad. We are losing our power. We're losing our control. We're losing our grip on the world. So then Trump comes out and says, if Governor Carney thinks he's going to make Canada a drop-off port for China to send goods and products into the U.S., he is sorely mistaken. China will eat Canada alive, completely devour it, including the destruction of their businesses, social fabric, and general way of life. If Canada makes a deal with China, it will immediately be hit with a 100% tariff against all Canadian goods and products coming into the USA. Thank you for your attention to this matter. In other words, he completely flips and provides the exact logic and reason why Canada knows, hey, in the long run, I got to break up with the U.S. and I got to have a better deal with China. And the whole world, Europe, they're thinking the same. Trump was just threatening to steal Greenland. You think Europe is looking at this like, oh yeah, these are safe and reliable partners? No, what Trump is doing is basically begging the world to drop the dollar as the world reserve currency. That's what he's doing. And guys, here's the thing. Even if everything just ended now, right? Let's say Trump passes away, J.D. Vance comes in, J.D. Vance rolls back the tariffs, right? Or, a Democrat wins the next election, they roll back the tariffs. They have secret meetings with the world leaders and say, look, our bad, that motherfucker was crazy, whatever. Even in a scenario like that, I think the damage is already done. I really do. Because the whole world is going to look at the U.S. and say, okay, how do we know that in 4 years you won't have a new Trump protege that comes up that supports the tariffs, that supports the trade war, that, goes after its own allies? How do we know? We don't know. So why don't we just break up with you and make a deal with our more reliable partner, with China? And the whole world is going to be thinking that. Europe is going to be working with China. Canada is going to be working with China. South America is going to be working, everybody's going to be with them because they're more stable, more sane, true to their word, and we're just like a abusive, alcoholic ex who's lost his damn mind. That's what we are now. And so guess what? In the wake of this, I believe Carney came out and said, oh, okay, we're not going to do the China deal. But I think he's just saying the thing that Trump wants to hear, but they're going to continue making a deal and doing deals. Because I think what the world noticed is like this guy's got the attention span of a fucking mosquito. And so all you have to do is just tell him, okay, sure, yeah, we're not going to do that deal. You got it, bro. But then they're not stupid. They're going to keep doing the diplomacy and negotiations behind the scenes. And not only Canada, but the rest of the world is going to slowly but surely break up with the US and, get married to China. And that's where we are, y'all. That's where we are. Now, by the way, there's all sorts of evidence of this. China has been slowly but surely dumping US treasuries. Look at this. This is insane. US dollar share of global reserve currency has fallen to its lowest levels this century. This is literally unprecedented. Look at this. Institutions are reducing dollar exposure. I told you, one of the long-term impacts of the Trump regime is going to be de-dollarization. And when that finally happens, this country is so cooked you have no idea. Look at this. Not just the yen. Several currencies are rising versus the dollar. All these currencies are going up against the dollar. The dollar is losing value rapidly. This says here's a 35-year daily U.S. dollar chart, but what it actually is the price of gold chart flipped upside down. Because the price of gold is skyrocketing. The price of silver is skyrocketing. Why are those skyrocketing? Because they're viewed as like natural currency, right? There's a limited supply. People always want it. So it's like a natural currency. We used to be on the gold standard. We're not on the gold standard anymore. But when there's a crisis in the dollar, the flight to safety now is to precious metals, is to gold, is to silver. And so other currencies are going up. The precious metals are going up. The dollar is going down. Do you see the writing on the wall yet? And Trump keeps bullying these countries that have our treasuries, and they can dump our treasuries. He keeps bullying these countries. Eventually, they're going to pull the rug out from underneath us and fucking de-dollarize, right? We've already given them every reason in the world to de-dollarize. We do sanctions all willy-nilly against the countries that piss us off. Well, as soon as the world de-dollarizes, you don't have to worry about those sanctions anymore. The sanctions are only potent because the world reserve currency is the dollar. As soon as you get rid of that, you don't have to worry about that anymore, right? So he keeps giving the world reasons to move on, to move past the U.S., and I think that's honestly exactly what the fuck is going to happen. They're going to move on. They're going to go past the U.S. So he has ushered in the end of the United States as we know it. And the craziest thing is, he's not even going to be around to see the fucking worst of it. This motherfucker's going to croak within the next 5 years, and then he's not going to be around to see all of the fucking pain and suffering that his ass caused by doing an unnecessary trade war, making the world hate us, alienating us and isolating us, leading to a fucking giant Great Depression. He really acts in a way that only an idiot could act. Like, other world leaders are smart enough to know nothing lasts forever, empires rise and fall. He's so fucking stupid. He actually seems to think this thing called the American Empire, it's always gonna go on. And we're the indispensable nation. People always want to work with us. Why the fuck would they want to work with us? All you do is disrespect them, spit in their eyes, slap them around, rip up treaties you just fucking agreed to. Trump himself made a deal with Canada in his first term, and then he ripped it up in his second term. Why would anybody trust any words you say ever? Why would they? We signed up for the Paris Climate Agreement. You fucking ripped it up. You just pulled out of the WHO. You just pulled out of all these, UN committees, for example. Like, why would the Iran agreement, that was settled law. It was a treaty. You violated it and ripped it up. Why would anybody make any deal with you knowing you could wake up tomorrow in a different mood and fucking destroy it all? It's like I'm having to explain the most basic elementary level concepts to these people because they're so fucking stupid and dense. They just want the show. They just want the theater. They just want Trump like triggering the libs and making people laugh. And it's like, okay, but he also just destroyed anything and everything about this country in the process. We're completely untrustworthy. We're completely hated. And that has long-term consequences, guys. It has long-term consequences. And, yeah. So like I said, the thing that probably infuriates me the most is that why am I the one having to say this, right? Why isn't it the Democratic Party explaining this? Why isn't it the mainstream media outlets explaining this? That it is so over, I can't even put into words how over it is. And everybody's acting like it's not over and like this is just an aberration. Trump is just an aberration. And like, we'll move on past him shortly. And it's like, you don't get it. You don't get it. There will be no moving on past this. It's not going to happen because he did irreversible damage. In the same way that when Elon Musk, the world's richest man, was marauding through the government illegally and cutting pediatric cancer research and Meals on Wheels, there was no like, oh, we'll get him out of there and we'll like fix it. They did so much damage, it's not even fixable in one term of a Democratic president, right? And it's the same shit with Trump. This is permanent damage that we're talking about, and it's unfolding right in front of our eyes, and they're too stupid to realize it, or, and this is a bigger question, they're doing it on purpose. They're doing it on purpose. So he's either acting like a Manchurian candidate or he is a Manchurian candidate. I'll leave it up to you to determine which.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.